Now, some of you may not be familiar with Gianni Manganelli. He was a student at University High School, and he passed away this past weekend. And so we decided to do a quick tribute to him. His family is here, so we want to thank all of them for coming. I want to talk a little bit about Gianni. I actually met him in 2006, quite a long time ago, at his very first regional competition, which was at the Mexico School of the Deaf. I bet you guys remember that. I was coaching at that time in New Mexico, and Gianni was there with the University High School team. And I didn't know who he was. We competed against him, but I'd never heard of him or anything at that time. He hadn't yet made a name for himself. We had some hot competition happening, right? He was a freshman that year, and so some hot competition happening in those matches. In the final round, the category was Asian geography. Now, for those of you who know Gianni, you know that he was into all things, Asian, Japanese language and sign language. He really knew a lot about Asian countries and whatnot. So I thought, okay, Asian geography, I don't know who's going to know a lot about this, but Gianni was clearly excited about it. And I watched how the other team reacted to it, so they seemed to know that he kind of knew his stuff with this one. And so he was answering these things in like 4 seconds. And he knew every single answer, and I knew they were going to win. And he got the perfect 30-point score on that category. He really answered every single question right. So that was the start of the legend of Gianni. Now, Gianni has accomplished many things, and I'll show you a little bit about that here. Now, before I do share about Gianni, we decided to establish an academic hall of fame. And we were planning to do that in a couple of years, but we decided to go ahead and start it now because of Gianni. So Gianni is our very first honorary inductee into our academic hall of fame. Now, I will ask you to come up here and accept something on his behalf, but first I want to talk a little bit about Gianni. So he was a student at University High School for 4 years on the academic whole team, all 4 years. He won 3 Most Outstanding Player awards for his region. And I did a lot of research on this, and he is the only student to ever win 3 regional Most Outstanding Player awards. He also won a national Most Outstanding Player award as well, which was in 2009. And I watched the webcast on that one. It was before I moved here, and I was so impressed. He was a heavy favorite. Everybody thought Indiana was going to win, that they were going to be the champions. But the University High School went on and beat Indiana in a very exciting match. It was a lot of fun to watch. Now, they won the national championship that year. So he really earned it. He really earned entrance into our Hall of Fame. And it's also an interesting fact here, and a little bit of a funny story. Some of you may know this. So at the national championship match, when they won the championship, they announced winning it, and that the most outstanding player was, and before this, of course, they had a raffle. And so, Purple and Sorensen and various companies would sponsor it. So that year, it was we that sponsored it, actually. And so Gianni ended up winning it. So he won that. So he won the most outstanding player, he won the championship, he won he won everything. It was very cool. So I don't think anybody can beat that type of a really unique record. So if you wouldn't mind, I would like to ask you to